So are you going to tell some of the stories that you've been emailed as well?
Yes, I'll do that now and then just get your reaction to them, if you have any. No pressure. Right, this one's from Alexander Edwards. I feel like I should do like a radio thing, like cheers for emailing in, yeah? So this one's from Alexander Edwards. Thanks for your email, Alexander. So he says, thanks for taking the time to read this. It's a long old block of text with me rambling. I've turned into that old guy who won't shut up about the past. Well, so have we, so it's fine. I could talk about this era in music forever. It was the most exciting time and almost certainly formed the person I've become today. There's people I made friends with via the Cribs forum in 2005. I'm still in regular contact with today. We had Zoom meetups every 3 weeks through this year. I think between the Cribs forum, NME, and Dancing Jesus, and now very much defunct online message board, I found most of the music I still love. Perhaps my overriding memory from 2005, I was 15 and becoming increasingly annoyed by the fact that a lot of new exciting bands were playing at 53 degrees in Preston, which was the nearest city I could realistically get to. And they were all 18 or over gigs. I can't remember why I thought this would work, but at school I decided to email the promoter for the venue. I explained the situation and mentioned in particular an upcoming We Are Scientists gig, asking by if some miracle he allowed me in despite being 3 years younger than the age limit. To my astonishment, he emailed me back. Obviously the answer was no, but he told me to give him a ring on the day of the gig and he'd try and get me something signed by the band. Absolute score, he says. Travelled to Preston on the day, and the guy, I honestly feel so bad that I can't remember his name in brackets. Went all out. He managed to meet me outside the venue, took me through the back corridors into the empty venue where the We Are Scientists were We're sound checking. They asked what song I wanted to hear. They played Great Escape, and then we sat and talked for half an hour. They signed a CD for me, and we had some photos. Absolutely unreal experience. But this story itself does get a little weirder. A short time later, I had tickets to the NME Awards in 2006. The lineup was one of, and still is one of the best gigs I've been to. Mystery Jets, We Are Scientists at the Monkeys Maximo Park. By pure chance on the day, we'd been dropped in Manchester early. So we were kind of hanging out at the Academy. We bumped into all the bands who were playing there. And Keith remembered me from the 53 Degrees gig. Around a week later, I was in London with my family. I learned that the NME Awards were being held at Hammersmith Palais. Were you there at that one, Tom? 2006.
What year was it? What year was that? Yeah, we might have been at that one.
We were hanging there just to see if we could see any bands arriving. Hanging out outside, we saw a lot of people. And still having a notebook I bought from nearby Tesco. Got autographs from Kaiser Chiefs, Block Party, The Strokes, Peter Hook, Pete Doherty, Ian Brown, and others. And there's a weird moment as Kanye West left and everyone just froze. At one point, an ambulance pulled up and the paramedics ran inside. They returned carrying someone lying on their front. Peering through the front of the ambulance, I realised it was Ryan Jarman after his infamous jump across the table. I was absolutely baffled by it, especially as the Cribs were my favourite band. I gave him a wave. He gave a wave back and then gave me the V's, brackets in a friendly manner. Bizarre. He writes,
wow.
Shortly after this, a guy nearby approached me and said he'd seen me asking for photos and autographs and could tell I was a real fan, rather than a lot of people who were clearly eBayers with their glossy photos. He had 2 spare tickets to the awards and offered them to me. Like an absolute dream, I went in with my mum and had such an insane evening. So this guy's at the NME Awards with his mum.
Brilliant. I love that.
Personal highlight was Sid dancing with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I told Simon Pegg I thought he was brilliant. He replied with, "No, you're brilliant," which will remain a life highlight. The We Are Scientist story then helped me to win a competition a couple of years later. When Absolute Radio in 2009 asked for some good gig stories. They put my story on with a few others on their website, and the public voted. And using the sway at the Cribs forum, I managed to win the competition, which was VIP tickets to Reading. But just going back to the NME Awards, because I asked him what it was like in there, whether he was sat at tables, but he said by the time he went in, it was just like a normal, like a massive indie night, basically, with loads of famous indie people in it. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I guess it does just turn into that. They clear all the tables up, and then everybody just gets wasted in a massive venue as well. I don't know if we were at that. Oh yeah, we were at that one, definitely, because I remember seeing him. I remember seeing Ryan fly across the table because they went up to get that award with the Kaiser Chiefs or whatever.